Hello everyone, welcome back. This is week 10, part 3. Last time, the last video, we were doing lesson D. It was the reading lesson, and we were talking about special birthdays around the world. This video and the next will be about lesson E, which is the writing lesson. But before we begin, I wanted to review the vocabulary exercise from lesson D. But before we do any of that, let's go ahead and get our feet flat on the floor. Shake your arms out, roll your shoulders a little bit, take a deep breath in through your nose and out through your mouth. One more time. Okay, are you ready? Let's go. So in the last lesson, there was a list of vocabulary words from the reading, and your homework was to find the meaning of that word as they used it in the story, and then to find through Google or maybe a dictionary to look up what is another meaning that same word can have, maybe used in a different context. So let's just go through these quickly, but I think vocabulary is very important, so that's why I wanted to spend time on this. So if you'll see in your book on page 129, number 1 was already done for you. The word for number 1 is states, and the meaning in the story is areas that are part of a country. So they were talking about in some states in the United States of America, age 16 is when a teenager can get their driver's license. So states are a certain part of a country. But another way you could use the word states is conditions of the mind. Like maybe you just took a nap, and so you wake up and you have a clear state of mind. You feel rested and you are ready to go. Or you wake up and you have kind of a groggy, foggy state of mind. It's like a condition of your mind. So that's number 1. Now on here, I started on number 2. So the word in the story was object. And that's when they were talking about in China, they place a baby in the middle of several objects. So the meaning in the story is item. I'm actually going to use my green marker if that's okay with you all, because the black marker is fading fast. Item. But another meaning for object is purpose or goal. For example, the object of this lesson, or our objective, is to write a descriptive paragraph about your favorite holiday. Where that's not actually this video, that will be the next one, but you get the idea. The purpose or the goal is the object. Okay, number 3, rich. Rich, this was also in the paragraph about China. They hope their baby grabs the coin, and because that means traditionally that the baby will be rich. So rich means have a lot of money. Okay? But there's another meaning for the word rich. You can also talk about food that is rich food. So it's food with a lot of oil or butter or cream. And that food is usually considered rich. Okay, number 4, transition. This was used several times in the reading. It means to move from one stage of life to another. But it can also mean words that are connecting two topics, like a transition word. For example, when you are writing a paragraph and you say, another way that I like to blah, 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 that's your transition word, right? So, words connecting two topics. Okay. Oh, here it is. Throw. I believe this was either in the paragraph about Mexico and quinceañeras or Nigeria, but the idea was that parents would throw a birthday party for their children, and throw means, in that context, means to give. They would give their children a birthday party. They would throw it. They would plan and pay for and organize. So, give. But another meaning would be toss. Like to physically throw a ball, right? To toss it. Okay, speaking of ball, number 6, ball in the reading was talking about, I think it was at the quinceañera. They were talking about the girl wears a ball gown. So ball means like a formal dance, right? In that context. But as you know, most of the time when we hear someone say the word ball, we are picturing a spherical object or a toy. Like a basketball or a football or a soccer ball. Okay, 2 more. Pick up. This was from the paragraph about China where they said the baby would pick up an item. So in this context, it's touch or lift. But sometimes in other contexts, it could mean to continue. Okay? So, I have a friend who I have known for 15 years or more. And sometimes we can go several months without talking, but then we like to say, "Oh, you're such a great friend," because every time we talk, we are able to pick up right where we left off. So we will talk maybe in January, and then in May, we start talking again, and it's like we are continuing the conversation with no interruption. It's like very seamless, smooth, easy to continue, easy to pick back up. Does that make sense? Okay, finally, observe. So, I don't know which birthday this was talking about. Observe. Observe. In Saudi Arabia, they don't observe birthdays at all. So in this context, it means they don't recognize or celebrate. Okay. But another, maybe more common definition of observe is to watch. Like to watch with your eyes, to observe. Okay? Oops. Excuse me, just a moment. I needed some water desperately. Okay, so that took a lot longer than I thought. But now that you have all of that, let's go ahead and flip the page to page 130. All right. Look at the pictures. We are going to continue our conversation about holidays and celebrations. Okay? So what are some examples of holidays and celebrations? What are your favorite holidays? Whoop. There's New Year's. We celebrate the New Year. New Year's Eve and day. Uh-oh, baby's awake. We celebrate maybe Christmas. Or Hanukkah. I don't know how to spell Hanukkah. We might celebrate Thanksgiving. Or St. Patrick's Day. We just recently celebrated Memorial Day. there are several holidays that we celebrate. So let's look now, finally, at page 130. Look at the pictures. You see the questions at the top of the page? It says, can you guess where the people are from and what holiday they are celebrating? So you'll see there's a picture of a man jumping over a fire. There's a table with a lot of special decorations. And then there's a big group of people. Looks like they are eating a picnic outside. I know what it is. Do you know? And then question number 2 says, what is your favorite holiday or celebration and why? That would be a good one for you to write down in your book, or you can write it, you can talk about it in a WhatsApp video and send it to the group, okay? But let's go ahead and read the paragraph. Now, before we read it, it's important for you to remember that this is going to be a model for the paragraph that you will be writing, okay? So pay attention to how they are writing about their favorite celebration. All right, here we go. My favorite celebration. My favorite celebration is the Iranian New Year, Nowruz, or New Day. This holiday begins on the first day of spring and lasts 13 days. On the Wednesday before Nowruz, people build bonfires and jump over them. Iranian people believe that if they do this, they will get rid of their illnesses and misfortunes. On Nowruz Eve, the family gathers around the table with 7 items that begin with the letter S in Persian: an apple, wheat pudding, dried berries, vinegar, a coin, a beautiful flower, and garlic. A bowl of goldfish, a Quran, colored eggs, and a mirror are also on the table. These items symbolize beauty, health, prosperity, and fertility. On Nowruz Day, people kiss each other and say, "I hope you will live for 100 years." We spend the next 13 days visiting each other and eating sweets. Finally, on the last day of the celebration, everyone goes to a park for a big picnic. I wish my whole family lived with me here so that we could celebrate Nowruz together. Wow. That sounds like a very special holiday. So I want to point out in the tip box, it says the conclusion, the last sentence of a paragraph, is an important part of a paragraph. One way to conclude a paragraph is to relate the topic to your personal life. So there are many ways to conclude a paragraph, but ending on a personal note is one option. And I think it's a very good option, especially if you are talking about your personal favorite holiday. Okay, so your homework will be to complete the outline on page 131. So this outline goes over which pieces of the paragraph that we just read fit into each category. So what is the topic? The topic is my favorite celebration, Nowruz, right? And then what is the meaning or symbolism of all of that? When is it celebrated? What are the customs? And then what is the conclusion paragraph? Conclusion sentence. Okay, so complete that outline about the paragraph we just read, and then in the next video we will write our own paragraph. Okay? Thank you so much. I'll see you next time. Ciao.